Hey, bub. This is Wolverine. You're watching Pro Teaches Noobs. This is OG Vegeta. Let's get the views to over 9,000! This is Ryuk. Watch, like, and subscribe, or die.
Okay, ready? And by the way, you want to know who wrote this one? Aubrey Sitterson.
Wait, so what? You're going to do this all in one recording and split it up? Or?
Yeah, yep, that's what I always do.
Oh, okay.
I always do that. That's why I just divide it up.
All right, time of recording, we are starting at 54:15.
Yep, again, for me, dude, why do you think I do the hand gesture?
Okay, okay.
Yep. Like I said, you remember Aubrey Sitterson?
Yes.
Yeah, so he's going to be involved with it. And I'll tell you this, one heads up, they're going to put so much focus on a really obscure Street Fighter character that it's going to get annoying.
I appreciate the warning. Thank you.
I'm not going to say who, but you'll know who it is fast, and you'll probably be like, oh boy, him. But anyway. Hey guys, welcome to another Listen Up, Pro Teacher Do. They have with me, Jay Heat.
Flame on. How's everybody doing tonight?
Not too bad. So we're going over another Street Fighter crossover. This time, an earlier one, Street Fighter X G.I. Joe. And like as I told Jay Heat off screen earlier that this has had a long history, and it's because of this tie-in that we actually were given Ken's last name as Ken Masters, because if they were going to do a toy, Ryu you can copyright. You cannot copyright Ken. So one, because Barbie, but other reasons, so they had to give him a last name, and thus he came Masters, so they can make the toys. Yeah, so let's see how this goes. And this it's written by the controversial to some people writer of Aubrey Sitterson. At least controversial as far as his handling of the Joes and everything around the time of the IDW series, and his notorious statement about 9/11. I won't go any further than that.
Yeah, no comment on this video, but if you know, you know.
Yep. But yeah, Chapter 1, we're going to have the fights are Snake Eyes versus Sea Viper, Rufus versus Baroness, Akan versus Roadblock, and Ryu versus Jinx. Now, keep this in mind, this is a case where obviously there's a history between these two that have existed before this mini starts. And in fact, there have been other fights that have occurred off screen beforehand. Just to get that out of the way.
Okay.
On behalf of Shadaloo, allow me to welcome you to Mrika and Kanaka and to the World Warrior Tournament, sponsored by Mars Industry and Bison, Dictator Mirka and Kanaka, head of the Shadaloo Crime Syndicate, Destro, Lord of Clan Destro, head of Mars Military Armament Research System Industry. After our qualifying round, we now only have left with only the finest fighters from around the world. And at the conclusion of our tournament, we will crown but one of them as the World Warrior. So let's without further ado, let the Ace Finals begin. Advice: do what we paid you to do. Win at all costs. Baroness, Cobra Intelligence Officer, Crimson Viper, redacted. But expect betrayal. Who knows what those two are scheming? Especially Destro. Weren't you and Destro, you know? How do you think I know not to trust him? But listen, the only man you should be worrying about is him. Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe, Commando, and Arishigag, Ninja. What? What? Ninjas can't counter. Judo! You're fast, but I'm faster. How? I've had enough of your stupid ninja crap. You want to do tricks? Let's do tricks. Ha! I hoped it wouldn't come to this, but there's much more at stake than just my pride. Like, no! Snake Eyes wins. Knives. This is ridiculous. What kind of tournament are you running? One that and where we also turn a blind eye to sin and design battle suits, and one where you, my dear, are up next. I'm sorry, Baroness. He was just so fast. I'm used to being disappointed, and I'm used to handling things myself. We're still in this, despite your embarrassment. And it would seem that Lord Destro still holds a torch for me to events, and all I have to do is beat this idiot. See, baby, Ken didn't even make it to the qualifiers, or maybe he's just scared. I've got so much mojo, sometimes I scare myself. That's the guy, Rufus. We're going to get a lot of Rufus.
I think I remember this story. Oh, boy. It's coming back now.
Yep. And again,
Rufus,
he's a joke.
Okay, it's one thing to have a gag character get some shine, but don't drag it too long.
He makes it all the way to the end. That's like Dan making it to the end.
Yeah, this is going to be a rough one, folks.
Mm-hmm. Rufus, self-taught expert in Kung Fu and Mojo. Candy, self-taught expert in Rufus. Just chillax, babe. This won't take long. You're absolutely right. Fight. There's no shame in giving up. Few women can resist my mojo. Candy's pretty open-minded. Maybe you two could. Is that it? How did this moron make it to the 8th final? Is this what you wanted to see, Destro? Is this what you missed? That's impossible. Must have been a fluke. Like, how did you? It all comes down to one thing, hot stuff. Charisma. Do you feel that? A storm's brewing. A mighty storm. A powerful storm. An exceptionally handsome storm. A big bang typhoon. You've got to be... Right off the bat, you're already like, bullshit! Right?
Right. I remember when I first read this, I was like, okay, I know you didn't want to... Licensing's a pain, especially with Ken being as generic as he is. But do we really have to get stuck with Rufus the entire time?
Again, I'd rather have Dan. Would you agree with that?
Dan would have been a better choice, not gonna lie.
Like, you know, I hate seeing you suffer, my dear. Then just give us the weapon. I know that Cobra Commander must have told you that I need confined one-on-one combat to fuel it. Then you must also know that I can't believe a word that comes out of your mouth. You remember how jealous I get? Why are you making time with M. Bison? You need a big, strong man to help you handle things. I think you know exactly what I can handle, my dear. But regrettably, Bison and his organization are the only ones capable of powering the weapon. For now. Fascinating. I always did learn so much from you, James. I've missed it. Now that you've been eliminated, I suppose it's no longer a conflict of interest for you to join me on the dais. I suppose it's not. Is this really necessary? Way the brackets break out. You fight 3 fights before I knock your backside in the dirt. You want to protect them dishpan hands of yours? If you make it that far, I'll give you one for free. Roadblock, G.I. Joe, heavy machine gunner, and cook. Gung Ho, reconnaissance specialist, bare knuckle boxer. Someone's got to keep an eye on Destro, especially with him and the Bears getting all cozy again. You read the intel HQ sent over? Nope. Keep your distance. Don't let him grab you. He's a big boy. Yeah, so am I. Not like him, you ain't. Today, I teach you the superiority of Yagli Guris and the world's finest olive oil. And Hakan, master of the Turkish oil wrestling, president of Hakan Oils, Inc., family owned and operated, small batch and artisanal, organic, cruelty-free, and vegan. Don't worry, I'll give you a barrel of oil as a consolation prize. Appreciate the offer, but it ain't gonna be me needing consoling. Your loss is my gain. Now I'll show you the true power of the world's finest martial arts when combined with the world's finest cooking oil. Protect your hands, he says. Keep your distance, he says. Fine. Like your gun sounds like it's catching. Probably just needs some oil. Ah! Hold still. I'm not going anywhere, but you are. Get freeze. A con win. Heals no showing. My exquisite oils grant me a nigh insurmountable advantage. Yeah? What's the story of this stuff? The story goes back generations, but you need merely taste it to know the truth. This tastes amazing! That's what I've been saying. I'd love to have your oil in my kitchen. Who wouldn't? Like, you ever filed a government contract? Are you ready? Are you? You tell me. Ryu, master of the ancient art of Ashakusuken. Yeah! Jinx, Arashikage ninja, student of the blind master. Stay calm, Jinx. Remember your training. Oh, I remember everything that you taught me. Sure you can. You would dare? No. Stay calm. Don't give in. Ryo, are you okay? No. This is why we chose you. But your test isn't over yet. Matse Hadouken! Ha! You went wide on purpose. I would never. Stop going easy on me. Are you sure that's what you want? It's exactly what I want. And Jinx won! Again, a little bullshit. What did you say?
I mean, this was the type of story where a lot of the side characters get a bit more to shine. If you had the heavy hitters just taking the reign full sail, you wouldn't have a story, which I understand.
But starting off was Ryu taken out.
Like I said, the tournament is kind of a precursor to what comes later. So I'm a bit more forgiving with these type of stories as long as we get to because the main event is usually beyond the tournament itself.
True. Arigato, Goza Miso Sensei. Cut the formalities and just be careful. I will. I promise. Good. Because I'll be watching. I won't hesitate to take action. I mean, is it working? Will it be ready? It's working perfectly. And it will be ready by the time I step into the ring. Oh, nice covers. So now we're going to have Gung Ho versus Guile. Oh, Dan made it here. Yeah, Dan made it to the final 8.
Yeah, because
I think if I remember right, he beat he had beaten Sakura.
Yeah, Sakura.
I think they said that's who they fought beforehand. But yeah, Dan versus Chun-Li, Storm Shadow versus Crocmaster, and Bison versus Cammy. You're facing him in your first match. I'm worried that don't be. Guile, United States Air Force hand-to-hand technician. Cammy, British Special Forces, deadly close-range assassin. Chun-Li, Interpol detective, kicks like lightning. Like, I'll take out Bison, put a stop to whatever he's scheming, and then we'll take him in. All before the ace finals are over. I hope you're right. But Bison and that arms dealer Destro, they put us in the same division for a reason. I know what you're really worried about. Facing me in the quarterfinals. Hey, if you girls are done playing patty cake, how about you get a load of a real American hero? Gung Ho, reconnaissance, specialist, bare knuckle boxing. Intel is on a need-to-know basis, Guile. It's been a while since I've whopped a fly boy. Gung Ho has not been briefed. Is running all they ever teach y'all in the Air Force? Go easy on him, will ya? Nope. Joes get their enlisted men Joes let their enlisted men talk to officers like that? I never was. All that good was words. I'm much better with steel. Tougher than you thought. Little bit. Should we activate Plan B? No, don't need it. So, the Air Force teach you some hand-to-hand. Yep. But did the Joe teach you to fly? Whoa! Good fight, Sergeant. Thank you, sir. They had to include the. They had to include that reference, didn't they?
They did. They did.
And Guile, are you okay? Let me see. Just a scratch. It's nothing. You should get ready for your match. Oh, I'm more than ready. Didn't you see who I'm facing? Almost got it! Dan. He does his best. Nice form, Dan. I've been working on something new. Oh, yeah? Looks like the same old Dan to me. Looks could be deceiving. Whoop, whoop, whoop. You're walking right into my trap. Gadoken! Sorry, Dan. You're just not fast. Is that so? But how? No way Dan can move like that. No, but he can. Zartan! Now that is a twist I liked.
Yeah, when I first read this, I was shocked by like, no way we have Dan and Rufus in the same comic. There is no way.
But Zartan being Rufus, this is ridiculous. Aren't there any rules in a tournament that allows battle suits, guns, knives, and giant barrels of oil? Nope. And it looks like someone wanted him to win. It's down to you and me. Don't worry. After what he did to me, Bison is mine. I don't trust Destro as far as I can throw him. So with Viper and me eliminated, you need to play the rest of this tournament smart. Don't worry, boss. Emmylou here is well rested and hungry. And good, because you're moving on to the quarterfinal. Cobra Commander wants you and Emily helping Zartan.
Oh, that's right. Storm Shadow was neutral during this era.
Yep. You're laying down. You got that? As always, I'll do what needs to be done. I know I'm going over, but can we at least make this look good? Sure. Oh, damn it, Storm Shadow. I need him in fighting shape. Don't worry, boss. We're just putting on a little show. Ain't that right, Emmylou? Just a little. No! Let's see how your tricks hold up against an apex predator. And let's at least make this look good. Are you crazy? Whose side are you?
KO!
KO! Have you lost your mind? What do you think you're doing? As always, I'm doing what needs to be done. He's big, he's strong. You have to get inside to do any damage. But he's also fast, incredibly fast. You'll need to be faster. The only thing I need is to get my hands on that monster. Everything he took from me, he's going to pay me back in blood. Do you hear me, Bison? Are you ready? And I hear you, little girl. And I am more than ready. It's a psycho drive, but not just any psycho drive. Fueled by your maggot's poor excuse for combat, key to my specific biosignature, and designed by Laird Destro and Mars Industry. Guile, we need an update. What's happening? Just what we feared, and he's already using it. But you kidnapped me, brainwashed me, enslaved me. Are you sure? You always looked like you enjoyed it. Normally, I would just beat you, but with all of this power, no. Oh, I'm going to destroy you, you monster. I'm going to kill. Oh, that's no way to talk to your master, little girl. No, I won't and let you. KO! Bison, you've already won. That's enough. No, it's never enough. So now it's Storm Shadow versus Rufus. Don't be too hard on yourself. You should feel honored just to step into the ring with Rufus. So when you think about it, you've already won. Even though you're gonna lose. Makes sense, little buddy. Tongue-tied, huh? That's okay. I'd be intimidated by me too. Huh? Oh, no fair! You feel that? There's a storm brewing. Must be a galactic tornado. Woo! Boom! This audible ninja trick. But they can't save you from the ravaging ravages of my column modus combo. That's that most malicious maneuver. Spectacle romance. All right. What?
Yeah, this is just an op to stop Bison. Snake. If I know Snake Eyes, he took the fall on this. Like, nope, I'm not entertaining this anymore.
Yep. For years. it's been common knowledge that my America's greatest martial art, that I'm America's greatest martial arts. But now I'm America's realistic hero as well. Come on, babe, let's celebrate. Good work. So in other words, that is part of the plan.
Yeah, he took a dive, and
yet, though, the fact it's Rufus.
Yeah, if this was not even Snake Eyes, if this was Storm Shadow and like in the originals, in the earlier in the timeline, neither of them would have had this level of restraint.
Mm-hmm.
No, they would have curb stomped. They would have curb stomped him.
Exactly.
Rufus would literally be in a pool of his own blood right now.
Exactly. But again, this is where the problem is. Why Rufus?
Because they needed an everyman.
But there's plenty of other everymen. Rufus is...
He's a bumbling idiot.
Exactly. This is like having Patrick Star dominating.
No, at least Patrick Star is actually conniving depending on the episodes.
True.
At least he's actually conniving. Rufus is just a dumbass.
Yep. Delicious, nutritious, and expedient. Be careful. This is a deadly game. Don't worry. I've watched him embarrass Roadblock. I know what to expect. That's good, but it's not him I'm scared of. You remind me of my daughter. Beating you won't be easy for me. No, it won't. You won't put a single oily hand on me. No. Then how about both of my oily hands? Be careful. No, it's a little slippery. You stupid, and your stupid oil everywhere. I'm going to stay calm, Jinx. Don't give in. Not yet. Kill you. I knew this was a mistake. Metsu, no. Stay calm. Stay calm. Save the anger, Jinx. You'll need it. Your size, your strength, have to use them against you. Approve. Jinx wins. Are you okay? Yes, I think so. Center yourself now. The backup your range. Are they with you? No. Oh, Bison roughed up Cammy up, but good. Chun-Li's looking after her. Is she okay? She's one of the toughest women. No, toughest people I've ever met. I'm more worried about Chun-Li and her pride. After losing to Zartan, don't underestimate him. We've seen him do worse to better. Careful, Guile. You don't want to reopen old wounds. Whoops. You were saying? Guile, you just stood there. You let him hurt me. How could you? What? No, Oh! I knew you didn't have the stones to face me. You sneaky son of a... Not so tough with a broken wing, huh, Flyboy? Hey, Guile, should we activate Plan B? No, I'm fine. Not for long, you aren't. Now, Crockmaster. And get him, Emmy Lou. And busted and wing or not, I still know how to fly. Psh, no. Oh, no. Oh, yes. Sonic boom! KO! That's it. We're finished. Zartan's out. Storm Shadow's AWOL. How do we keep control of your boyfriend, Bison? And don't fret, my dear. I have a backup plan. I always have a backup plan. There's still time for you to switch sides once again. I'm not on anyone's side. No, then you shall end this match on the ground with my psycho power and Destro's wearable psycho drive. No one can stand against me. Don't you see? Don't you get it? Your measly attacks, they only make me stronger. Once the tournament is over, once my psycho drive is filled, then my true plan begins. The major cities of the world, I will simply walk in wearing my psycho drive, a newly minted human bomb, and will explode in a fiery holocaust. City after city, New York and Beijing, Paris, Tokyo and Moscow. I will destroy them. I will level them. I will raise them to the earth and burn all of man's work to cinders. And then they shall beg to swear fealty to Bison. I will have no need of Destro and his deceitful machinations. But you, I could use one such as you. Ruthless, amoral, efficient, intelligent, but not too intelligent. You can't win, but you don't have to lose. Admit defeat and join me. No, I won't. A shame, but no matter. Soldiers are cheap. Ugh. This is your last chance, your final opportunity. Destro won't step in to save a traitor, not like he did for the harlot. Give up. Give in. Join me. Master. Forfeit. M. Bison wins. Do you see? Do you see? No one can stop me. Nothing can stop me. I will rule this world. I will be unto a god, and you will all worship Trink. No! My psychodrive. My plan. You worm. You vermin. You petulant filth. Destro. Destro. Fix it. Fix it now. Storm Shadow. He's ruined everything. He's compromised our prototype. My dear, what do you take me for? You know I always have redundancies in place. Too bad we didn't get this fight.
A real shame.
This is a fight I'm sure people were wanting when they saw the cover.
Rufus versus Jinx and M. Bison.
M. Bison versus Guile, yeah. Oh, boy. But yeah, again, I would say M. Bison's much better in this story.
Yeah, but at least with the TMNT crossover made sense, since you weren't gonna have 80 Shredder at like a bumbling idiot. He was just gonna be on Psycho Rage the whole time.
Yeah, but still, here though, this is more traditional M. Bison.
I agree. A bit arrogant, bit of a loudmouth, but you kind of know what to expect with M. Bison.
Exactly. Baby, it looks so good on you. Everything looks good on me, babe. I'm just worried it'll distract from my martial art prowess. Don't want anyone saying I'm skating on by looks alone. Don't worry. No one's going to say that. The robe's a fitting choice. It's as loud and obnoxious as you are. Luckily, I don't need to see you to beat you. What did you just say? Don't listen to her, Candy. She's just scared, frightened, petrified. Afraid she'll be overcome with desire for my Adonic physique. I feel bad for you. Fight! Blinded, you can't appreciate my form? This is too risky. Arrogance doesn't win fights. No, not arrogant. Confident. Watch. Duh! You're outclassed. You're blindfolded. So that one's a freebie. But now it's my turn. My turn to strike. And your turn to be struck, to be defeated by me. Rufus! Whether that blindfold's real or not, I have my doubts. I don't need to see you to know where you are. I can hear your footsteps. I can smell you. The scent of cheap body spray and failure. Oh, I love under the car to the side. Just like the old beating it up. You mock my robe, my kung fu, and my dashy good looks. And no one mocks my heavenly aroma. Prepare yourself for a big bang typhoon. Toink. What did you do to me? Once you get through the padding, pressure points work on everyone. There's another one right here. Stop doing that. I shall dexterously restrain your arm. Now you can't do anything. You can't even defend yourself from my hand machine gun. My arm, my legendary speed. You've ruined it. You've ruined me. It's over. Save yourself any further embarrassment. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? I don't know the meaning of the word embarrassment. He really doesn't. Hey, what's your name? You may have disabled my arm, but that is far from the only weapon I have at my disposal. No, I have an armory at my fingertips. My entire body is a weapon. Every limb, every finger, every glorious inch. You have no idea the fury that you have unleashed. You cannot fathom the thunder you have called down upon your head. You have angered, insulted, and dishonored me, myself. I, Rufus, the world's foremost martial artist, and I shall be a pimp. No, stop it. I'm spoken for. Candy, listen, a chef. Maybe we could cook something up together. No, stop it. Now I get it. I knew you would. Yep. Enough. I give up. This is an outrage, a travesty, a mockery of the martial art. I never even tapped. I demand a rematch, a recount, and a refreshment. Candy, who are you talking to? This is absurd, ridiculous, ludicrous. I'm calling my lawyer. And welcome back, little girl. You never could stay away. If you keep your jealousy in check, I could find a place for you. Like, you monster, I'm going to. Easy, Cammy. You had your chance, little girl. Once again, you failed. Yeah, but he won't. Tear him apart, Guile. A surprise attack. Not very sportsman-like, Guile. Yeah, that's the thing. I ain't a sportsman. I'm a soldier. And you're finished. No, Guile, you're mistaken. I am a god. Sonic boom, sonic boom, sonic boom, sonic boom. Your puny attacks are nothing. You are nothing. I don't even need psycho power to crush you like the insect you are. Do you see what I did to your little girlfriend? That was nothing. That was just approved. Very nice and very tricky, Guile. But is this really what you want? I want everything you've got. Then you shall have it. Don't be a hero, Guile. And remember your orders. Yes, sir. Cool it with the sir, soldier. Just need to get into position. Guile! Guile, wake up! Wake up! Yes, Guile, wake up. You don't want to miss this. Nice work, soldier. And get it done. He's still in. Take the shot, Guile. Take him out. Cammy, I'm sorry. Just trust me. What? Sonic Hurricane! He missed. My psycho drive. You ruined it. I'll kill you. Your shoddy craftsman has ruined us, Destro. Ruined us. You can't win the finals without the drive. I'll have my men look into what last-minute repairs they can manage. I know that wasn't easy. Being a good soldier never is. Guile, what were you thinking? I seen you hit a target at 100 yards. You could have beat him. You could have finished it. Whose side you're on? Little girl, you are in far over your head. Wouldn't be the first time. Jinx versus M. Bison. I will say, overall, Jinx is not a bad representative for the Joes.
No, not at all.
Because she definitely matches the Street Fighter characters the most.
Yeah.
Be quick, be strong, and above else, stay calm. Don't worry, I can control it. No, you can't. Not for long, at least. Try not to use it at all. Only as a last resort. Hopefully, you won't even need it. I damaged the psycho drive just as planned. He should be weaker, more vulnerable, at least by his standard. And fight! You're not so tough when your toys are broken. You fool! I have more than enough psycho power left to put a little girl in her place. Give up! Submit! You would look so good as in a Shadow uniform. No! Oh, you're only stalling, delaying the inevitable. And I will beat you. I will win. And I will rule this world with my psycho power. Poor Bison getting beat by a little girl. I will never. No? Then how about by me? Is this it? Yes. The Satsu no Haru. I've never felt such power, evil Jinx. It's impossible. Bison! No, stay away. Like your psycho power is nothing. You are nothing. No, stop. This is unexpected. My dear, you should be prepared to. Anastasia. Metsu Hadouken! No, please, I surrender. You would ask me for mercy? You will find no peace. You will find no rest except in death. Sweet embrace. Foolish little boys and their foolish little toys. This isn't power. This isn't real power. I'll show you power. I will show you real Jinx. This isn't you. You're better than this. It's why we chose you. Chose me? We would have given in. We would have let it take control. We aren't strong enough to fight it. But you are. Fight it, Jinx. Fight it. The power, it's gone. Now that's the one bit I feel a little like, really? The girl's the only one? That does feel a little BS.
But Yeah, fair enough. But then again, Ryu is much further along in his development than she is.
That's true. But Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes would have given in. I don't know.
No, not so much. The whole thing is just part of a larger operation. Now, Snake Eye throwing a fight. Yeah, that's probably something. That's probably where we're crossing the line. But
Yeah.
Jinx's arc in this, I'm not too mad about.
Oh no, I'm just saying it's the phrasing, of the
Yeah,
we would have rather taken control.
Oh, I agree. The only downside here is that even if you needed an everyman for comedic relief, Rufus shouldn't have gotten nowhere near this far in the tournament.
And we're not even done with him. Is she okay? No, but she will be eventually. Guile, what's going on? What is this? I'm sorry, Intel was on a need-to-know basis. We fixed the tournament so that Jinx and the Sachi and Ohado would end up in the finals. We hope it wouldn't be necessary, that you could take M. Bison out before he charged the Psycho Drive. But in case you couldn't, Storm Shadow and I damaged the device and Snake Eyes. It was tough for him, but he threw his match to give Jinx that tin can and to kick around in the semifinals. I don't get it. I am not a tin can. Candy, can you believe this? I can't believe this. What they're saying is unbelievable. What are they saying? They're slandering me and my kung fu. They're saying I couldn't make it to the semifinals on my own. Wait, Rufus, honestly, do you really think that you beat him? I can beat anyone. I can beat everyone. I am talented. I am strong. I am smart. And I am handsome. You think you're tough because you're in the Army? Air Force, whatever. We're going to settle this. We're going to settle this right now because we are going to fight for third place in the World Warrior Tournament. Fine. We need to leave soon. Find the Baroness. Stop her before she gets in trouble. We're here for one thing, and that sentimental dope Destro told me exactly where to find it. He hid it nearby so it could be powered concurrently with Bison. There's Destro's backup plan. Viper, you carry it. I don't trust Croc Master any further than I could throw a stupid pet. Sorry, Baroness. I'm done taking orders. What? But I will take that Psycho Drive. Did you really think I'd abandon a cherry CIA gig for Cobra? You treacherous witch! Yeah, that's the thing about being a double. No, wait. CIA, Sin, Cobra, back to CIA, triple agent. Betrayal is kind of my thing. No, weak, ineffectual, and clumsy. Of course, you're a Fed. Even without the Psycho Drive, you're coming with Baroness. Lord Destro wants you. Now, keep the Psycho Drive. I'll just have Lord Destro build me a new one. There's no shame in forfeiting, and fourth place is very respectful, Guile. Hilarious. Though my rightful place as winner of this tournament was stolen from me through the unscrupulous, dishonorable act of these scoundrels, I shall now once again prove why my style is the best by taking third place in the World and Warrior Tournament. Keep it warm for me, baby. Slap, yes, sir. Power technique, speed, footwork. I have it all. This guy seems pretty serious, Guile. I think you'll need Plan B. Your misplaced confidence will be your undoing. Your arrogance will be your downfall. And only I, Rufus, shall be left standing. I highly doubt that. You doubt it? You doubt it? How dare you? A pimp! He beat me. He embarrassed me. They're laughing at me. They're all laughing at me. And at least I still got candy. No. No. I'll show you all. Is that the psycho power? Is that Rufus? On second thought, about that Plan B. Don't worry, Guile. A good Joe always know when to call back up. General Hawk, G.I. Joe Field Commander. Scarlett, counterintelligence expert. Plan B incoming. You know what? I like Plan B. Like, you beat me. You embarrassed me. You laughed at me. But who's laughing now? No! Rufus, baby, stop. See, this is where it gets beyond stupid. All of this was the build up to Rufus gaining the psycho power. And I think the only reason why he did it is because of his size. To make him a believable threat.
I mean, nothing, like I said, it's just Rufus is even by Street Fighter standards, Rufus is a gag character. He's a bumbling idiot. I'm not saying he couldn't have been here because you technically need an everyman for this kind of story. But Dan would,
yeah.
But
Dan
Dan
would have been better.
Yeah, Dan would have been the better choice, at least in my opinion.
Well, like I said, I think the only reason why is because of his size. I think that's the only reason.
I guess so.
Because, he's like a big, bulking brute. You fools, you cowards, you craven milksop. You tried to make me look foolish, tried to make me look like a big, dumb idiot. But underestimating me, underestimating Psycho Rufus, like that will be your final mistake. You colossal oaf. I'd leave you here if not for Sonic Boom! Destro, what have you done to Rufus? What have I done? It was you that damaged my drive, that released the modified psycho power into the air, that manipulated that corpulent buffoon. And now you shall reap what you have sown. Come on, can you read me? We've got a situation. Psycho power, unfriendly, big, mean, and ugly. Got any brilliant ideas? There's sheaths in the bubble of psycho power. It's impenetrable, but we're working on a plan. Hang tight, soldier. I could have won it all. I should have won it all. But you colluded with one another. You cheated. You ganged up against me. But now you'll see what it feels like. You'll find out how it feels to be surrounded, to be ganged up against, upon whatever. Roar! Now you will fight. You will fight for my entertainment. Ken, is that you? Listen to me. We have to work. Psycho Shoryuken! And Blood, have you lost your mind? We're on the same side. Scarlett, we're getting overwhelmed by our own people. We need some kind of tactical genius. Working on it. Good news is that they aren't really our people. Do with that and what you will, soldier. Don't have to tell me twice. Listen up. These are not your friends. So quit playing patty cake and take them out. I'm on it, my friend. An interesting texture. The smell's a bit off, but with some refinement. Unhand me, you peasant! It took you long enough. Fortunately, I have contingencies in place. See, all you need to win a fight is me. I don't seem to remember you winning your fight either, Monfrey. Monfrey. Is this it? A bunch of cheap knockoffs? You just think you're so great, don't you? You think you're so smart, so talented, and you think you're smarter than me. You think you're better than me. Rufus, baby, no. No one thinks they're better than you. No one is better than you. Don't you condescend to me, Candy. I saw you. I saw you with them. And now they'll see. They'll all see. They'll stand dumbstruck in all my majesty. And blarg, and go. Fight each other. Betray and manipulate one another. And when you're done, when you're finished, in the end, there shall be only one. There shall be only Rufus! Again, like I said, it feels like this is only done because he's so big.
Probably.
That's the only reason. Because I can't see Dan pulling this stunt. Even with psycho power.
No, he probably would. No.
Yeah, Rufus is the only reason why. And it feels like this whole ending is being stretched out. Good artwork.
The art's good. Don't get me wrong.
Yes. Fight one another. Tear each other limb from limb. All for me. All for Rufus. Scarlett, Hawk, we're getting overrun. We can't take much more of this. How do we neutralize Rufus? You need to work together. None of this one-on-one stuff. Think you can handle that? Do we have a choice? Nope. I'll feed your tactics in real time. World Warrior Joe and World Warriors. Joes, we're taking the fight to Rufus. On my command. First up, the big boys, Roblox and Hakan. Scarlett needs you two to take Rufus off his feet. Yes, sir. I'm happy to oblige you. Well, now that he's down, Cammy and Storm Shadow, ignore his army. It's Rufus we need to keep on and keep the focus on. Keep him distracted. Your anger is a gift. You can hone it, redirect it, and let it fly. God, stop it. Now it's time to tenderize that sack of meat. Chun-Li, gung-ho, it's on you. Feet and fists. Gung-ho is a word of Chinese origin. Oof, sister, do I look like a guy that would know that? Perfect. Snake Eyes, Crimson Viper, keep it going. Like I gave you that win, right? Strong silent type, huh? I like that. All right, here we go. Time for the coup de grace. Ryu and Jinx, you know what to do. Are you ready for this? Are you? Hadouken! No, you mustn't. You can't. You shan't. You can't beat me. No one can. No, you can't. I'm the best. I'm the best who ever lived. I'm the greatest martial artist of all. Again, it feels like this should have been, if it wasn't for him puking up those copies, this should have been M. Bison.
Yeah, I agree. I commend them for trying to do something different rather than just making M Bison the big bad or dragging Cobra into the mix.
But this finale should have been Bison. This whole build up to a Hadouken, it's wasted on Rufus.
And Rufus, like I said, he's not even a villain like that. He's just a bumbling idiot. And there's nothing wrong with having a gag character if you use him well. But the jokes don't land. Even when he gets infected with the Psycho Pirate, he's just throwing a tantrum in his manic state. Yeah. And outside of being a cameo farm, it doesn't amount to anything.
Yep. Guile, can you read us? That was one hell of a blast. Any casualty report? Yeah, I can read you. And no, everyone's accounted for. Not everyone. This is all that's left of Bison and Cobra. I know you're disappointed, but our primary objective was to destroy the Psycho Drive, to ruin their plans. We succeeded, Cammy. We won. You won? You won? What kind of win is that? What kind of dishonorable victory? One where you need all these people to triumph? When you mobilize an entire army to take down the world's greatest living martial artist? No, the greatest martial artist living or dead? Baby, no. Don't you see? No. If they needed all of that, if they needed to all team up to take you down, why, it's just more evidence that you truly are the greatest and world's greatest martial artist. Living or dead? Hey, doofus, you're lucky it's still the first and not the second. After everything you just put us through, you're lucky I don't finish breaking your arm. No, it is you that is lucky. Lucky that I am a gracious winner and don't believe in picking on losers, no matter how sore they might be. Besides, I have more pressing matters to attend to. Where did Bison and Destro get to with my trophy? The prototypes were destroyed. This organization takes a dim view on your failures. As do I. If Storm Shadow hadn't already defected again, I'd have him in chains and awaiting your judgment. Of course, he wasn't the only one who stood willfully in the way of your magnificent plan. I am well aware, Destro, you and Zartan both will have much explaining to do upon your arrival. Of course, but please, no, we don't come to you completely empty-handed. My drives have been destroyed, but I bring you something even better, something even more dangerous. If we could learn the harness, we bring you M. Bison himself. Yes, I see. Hand him over to Mindbender when you arrive. Cobra Commander out. Cobra! We have struggled, and you have struggled. You have fought, and you have won. As always, victory is to be commended. Some of you I already know well, while others among you I am so very eager to meet. For you have tasted power. You have tasted true power. My power. You have embraced the Satsui no Hado, the surge of murderous intent. And now, finally, I shall have a fitting challenge. Not be more delighted. Again, this is infuriating. There's so much good in it, but the Rufus stuff taints it.
If this was setting up a sequel, because again, you even have Hondo coming back and at teasing at the end.
Yeah, like
Akuma. So if you were baiting a sequel, this was the way to go about it. If you were baiting a sequel.
Yeah, which they never followed up on.
I'm just saying, okay, the tournament aside, because at the end of the day, stopping their plan and the Psycho Drive is the bigger priority. Okay, you kind of need someone to actually use the Psycho Power and go on a rampage.
Size-wise, Rufus is the only one that makes sense size-wise. I mean, the only other one would have been E Honda.
Yeah, no, hardly anyone references E Honda nowadays.
Which is a shame.
He's basically Street Fighter's version of Su Hao from Mortal Kombat. And Su Hao,
which is a shame though, because people used to love E Honda.
yeah.
But again, Rufus, it feels like Aubrey Citizen was a big Rufus fan.
I suppose so.
Because again, like I said, this finale, I get why they went, because they wanted to capture M. Bison, and you couldn't do that if he was the one who got taken down. But at the same time,
I can even forgive Rufus going psycho if he didn't get as far as he did in the tournament. Really, fourth place in a Street Fighter tournament.
Yeah, it's just like they just needed him to be there. The fact he was in the final 8 is we see everyone is still there. But you needed a reason to get him angry. But yeah, fourth place. Even if they had to throw matches for it.
And I'm just like, you could have just had the fight get called off due to a technicality. Maybe he wasn't physically healthy to compete. He barfed halfway through the fight and wasn't
like that.
And wasn't physically able to compete. Like, hey, you're obviously going through something. It's obviously something you ate. You're just gonna risk hurting yourself more if you try to fight.
Exactly. And again, but like I said, this bit here, this is like an epic. This is a grand finale. Wouldn't you agree? Like yeah, do this, guys. Do that. Do that.
Combo moves, great structure.
Then finally, a Hadouken.
And a double Hadouken combo. The structure is there.
But it's just Rufus.
Rufus just ends up being the big bad. Well, really, he's a placeover for Bison because Bison gets captured at the end. But that's the thing. I mean, it's the execution is the biggest fall here, because if you really just needed a reason for Bison to get angry and then become psycho, just have him get disqualified because he's big, he's a glutton. Just have him get disqualified due to a technicality, and then he's just bitter over it, and then it slowly builds up. That way, at least from a dynamic standpoint, even during the tournament portion in issue 2, none of the fights are lost, or the value amidst the fights are lost.
Exactly, and because again, Dan, people could understand because people like Dan, at least. Fans like Dan. What, dude, are there really fans of Rufus?
Not that many.
Again, like I said, I am positive the only reason why they did it is because of his bulk.
Because of his bulk, and he could use his gratuitousness to, spew psycho copies of other characters in the cameo scene and the cameo brawl in issue 3.
Exactly.
That's which even then I'm technically okay with, because the issue is not the fact that Rufus is a glutton or he's petulant or has a big ego. None of that is very consistent. What I'm trying to say is, even during the tournament portion, Rufus shouldn't have gotten as far as he did.
No, he shouldn't have. Again, this feels like it's what you agree on. Dan makes more sense as far as what fans would have accepted. I mean,
in terms of fan reception, yes, Dan would have been the better choice.
Now, again, Rufus, like I said, we're agreeing. Rufus makes some sense given for how this finale plays out.
Or you could have had Jinx get infected with the psycho power and go on a tear, but that would require an entire rewrite.
Exactly, and that means Rufus would have been one of the ones to help out in the finale. It just felt like everything got railroaded into this.
But for what it's worth, the art is great.
Oh, the art is phenomenal, and I would say most of the characters are in character. Baronet's going back and forth constantly about what's up with Destro does get a little annoying.
We get it. You're a villain couple who has the tendency to backstab each other.
I would say Jinx's fight with M. Bison was the highlight.
Oh, agreed. I would say issue 3 is the best. Not so.
This is 4. This is issue 4. No, 5. This is issue 5.
Oh, this was a full miniseries. I thought this was a 4 issue.
No, this was a 6 issue.
Okay. Yeah.
It just went by fast.
Okay. But like I said, the pacing, the structure, everything's there. either one or two scenarios, and neither which is ideal. Restructure it to where Bison gets eliminated early on, and then that's when he picks a fight with Guile. When he picks a filler fight with Guile, he's very petulant, and then that's how he ends up getting the cycle. Because at least then, no one's losing. None of the more popular characters are losing out on the fights, and you still have Rufus's tantrum for the cameo fest for the finale.
By the way, you know who else could have been a more interesting final character instead of Rufus? Abigail.
It's kind of similar to Hondo Jinx or Psycho Jinx. You would just require an entire rewrite, but I like where your head's at.
Oh yeah, Abigail I think is more believable.
I agree.
If you're going for size, but intimidation, that would have worked a lot better. Or how about this?
Sagat, like I said, okay. At the end of the day, especially with crossover titles, you still have to factor approval between the two companies and licensing.
Right.
These are the heavy hit. These are largely like the main ensemble. Even Jinx is kind of a secondary character and a direct support for Ryu himself.
Oh, remember though, Jinx is from It's from G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I know. Jinx is from G.I. Joe.
Right. I'm gonna say I think Sagat would make more sense.
I guess. Hey, we don't know the deeper situation with editorial. Maybe they were forced to use Rufus and they made the best of it.
That's true.
Which in that case, yeah. I mean, if you had to make the best of a bad situation, but I just wouldn't have let Rufus get fourth place. I wouldn't have dragged it that far. The moment you had Snake Eyes take a dive, I'm glad you admitted to it in dialogue. But the fact that you had Snake Eyes, arguably the golden boy of G.I. Joe, the face of G.I. Joe, for going by the 2000s.
Have him lose the Jinx.
Take a dive. If you go back, I'm pretty sure this is issue 3.
Yeah, this was issue 4 here. Issue 3 was the Snake Eyes one. Yeah,
the Snake Eyes fight. That was issue 3. Thank you, Robert.
Yep.
Rufus doesn't even land a single blow.
Exactly. You know what? It should have been Jinx versus Rufus and Snake Eyes versus Hakan.
Or if you couldn't do the classic Snake, I would also accept the Snake Eyes Storm Shadow. Because that's the rivalry, but again, Storm Shadow was neutral during this time.
But you need Storm Shadow to damage the Psycho Drive.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, but like I said, Rufus versus Hakan would have worked. No, wait. Hakan is a Street Fighter character, and they were clearly trying to go for G.I. Joe
versus Street Fighter.
Yeah. Ugh.
You would have to add an extra character because the Street Fighter, the GI, it's even 6x6.
Exactly.
So you would have to add 2 extra characters each, and or force a filler fight.
Exactly. Oh, they do mention here some of the qualifying rounds. You had Snake Eyes defeating Ken, Crimson Viper defeating Unisha, Baroness defeats Elena, Rufus defeats Cover Girl. Cover Girl, he beats Cover Girl, really? Roblox defeats Zangief, Hakan defeats Shipwreck, Jinx defeats Blanca, Ryu defeats Overkill, Guile defeats Crusher, Gung Ho defeats Dulcine, Chun-Li defeats Quick Kit, Dan defeats Sakura, Storm Shadow defeats Fei Long, Crocmeister defeats Alex, and Cammy defeats Firefly, and Bison defeats Rock and Roll. Poor Rock and Roll never stood a chance. I look at it, all the details, and just whomp. Again, though, overall, I would now. Here's the big thing. What would you say was better, this one or the Turtles one, for as far as dealing with the Street Fighters?
They both have different issues, I would say. Now, in terms of overall story, I did enjoy TMNT better because everyone was consistent. Nothing. The only inconsistency you could argue from a character standpoint is the Chun-Li versus Michelangelo fight in issue 2.
Yeah,
because you could tell that was forced. I would switch it to where it was Chun-Li versus Donnie, and Ken versus Michelangelo. Yeah, at least then their personalities would have matched better.
Agreed. Oh, by the way, quick question, because I'm going to be doing the thumbnail eventually. Which image would you prefer to have next to the cover here? I got it down to two of them, and I figured I'd ask you right here and now. This one or this one?
Let me see the Cobra one more time. All right, go back to the other one. That one.
That one, thought so. But yeah, but again, overall, but this was still both fun crossovers. They both handled things very differently. But yeah, again, the Rufus thing is just the biggest problem with this one.
Now, the actual cameo fest and everything once Rufus goes psycho in issue 5 and 6, that's fine. It's what got us there.
Yeah, it's what got us there. Because again, once he has all that power unleashed, you realize, okay, he's a big boss now.
Or if you are going to have Snake Eyes take a dive, at least let Rufus get a little roughed up for his trouble.
Exactly.
Similar to the Jinx fight, to where she beat him. Rufus, he's kind of like the Blob from X-Men. He's a tank. He can take a lot of damage, but the only way you could really get him subdue him is if you knock him out, or if he yields on his own accord,
which he would never do.
Realistically, Guile would rather not Guile. Rufus is stubborn. In the mainline material, Rufus is very stubborn. Not even egotistical, more stubborn than anything.
And we saw that. We saw that throughout everything. The fact that he got up and him taking out the Baroness was already a BS move.
I appreciate it because again, it gave levity to the tournament portion, especially when Bison just stomped Cammy. Rufus played his role for the most part. If he just didn't get very far in the tournament and was just comedic relief up until he gets infected with the psycho energy, that would have been fine. But they actually tried to make him a competent fighter, which in a competent fighting scenario, Rufus would not get far. His only saving grace is the fact that they didn't license out 2 extra fighters.
Exactly.
And the fact that they had Snake Eyes take the dive.
Exactly. Again, it's the Snake Eyes taking Snake Eye, like you said. I mean, again, they say, he needed to take a dive. Did you really think you can beat him? Again, it's like we all knew he took a dive, but at the same time, it's just like bullshit.
But you even see the dramatic pause, and then he kneels down. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'm not trying to be purist about it. It's just Rufus has his role. He's comedic relief. He's a bit more egotistical in this story, unlike the main material where he's a well-meaning doofus. But otherwise,
right here. And they say KO.
Well,
not forfeit.
Snake Eyes is notorious for being silent. So unless you're going by pure body language, and even then, he kneels on the ground, and they
make it look like a defeat.
Yeah, it's supposed to be for shot value. Look, even when you go back to the previous page. Okay, thank you. This is I understand it from a narrative standpoint, from the everyman, the unluckable, the lovable loser. But they made Rufus too egotistical, and then when reality finally sets in, he ends up throwing a temper tantrum, and then he gets infected by the psycho power to boot.
Exactly. Well, you know what? Zangief could have been in his role. Zangief's been a bit of a dim bulb in some writings.
At least he's more interpreted as a nitwit.
Yeah, he could have been in the role.
But you wouldn't be able to get the same comedic material with him, especially with Candy being a flirt, being a constant flirt, and then
especially the roadblock.
You just wouldn't get the same comedic material. Don't get me no. Granted, comedy is subjective, but the reason it didn't land, at least for me, I'm just speaking on my own opinion here.
Mm-hmm.
You had so much going on. You had so much going on, and the tournament portion only took First of all, I would argue the tournament portion took too long. That each match,
it took 5 of the 6 issues.
Yeah, just about each match got a full issue dedicated to it.
Exactly.
With the exception of issue 2 getting 2.
Yeah. Now I will say this. Now one thing I will acknowledge that that I can accept to a point this notion that there's like we're jumping in mid plan, but I don't like how there's so much lore built up already, especially with Ryu and Jinx. There's like we kind of should have gotten more.
Now I don't know if there was actual like this is the mainline book or this was explored or the early fights were explored in
No, it wasn't. It was all a self-contained story.
And then they just skipped over the quarterfinals.
Yeah, the qualifying rounds. That's why they put it here in the back.
Okay. They just skipped over.
Even with 16 combatants throwing down within the page of Street Fighter or X-G.I. Joe, there's no getting around it. Some of your favorite probably didn't make the cut. So in an effort to appease you, our dear reader, we also provide a bit of background on how the current bracket came to be. We provide the results of the 2016 World Tournament qualifying round. Enjoy and cross your fingers that your favorite learn from their losses on their way to a better showing next year. They did all this just so people can know about some of the other characters that didn't make it.
Did they do a fan vote for this? Because if they did, I know good and well Rufus wouldn't have made the cut. If this was
this was all part of the story. This was all part of the story.
Okay.
So there was no fan vote, no nothing, just what we got.
Like mid-plan, right in the final 8.
Yep.
Because I think the original pitch was going to be more like a maxi series, but it got cut down to 6.
Maybe. Who can say?
But all in all, if I had to, this is likely going to end up being 2 separate videos when Robert posts this.
Oh yeah, definitely will. But we can still talk about the Ninja Turtle crossover still.
Okay, but he'll likely leave that in the link in the description if you just hopped on this one.
Yep.
But all in all, Rufus played his. That's really the only downside in the story. The media res. Not everyone could pull off media res well.
And this was all right. It's just, again, there's like most of it, it's like, okay, it keeps some of the mystery, like what's going on with Viper and everything. But again, the biggest one had to be the Jinx and Ryu thing. That was the biggest, huh? Because she already knows all the Ryu moves. That's where you get a little like, where'd this come from?
I guess because they wanted to fully incorporate both IPs in the crossover. And if Ryu, now I don't know if this was tied to any major comic line at the time, or is this just a self-contained? Okay,
self-contained.
Okay, if it was Ryu actively participating in the contest and not going out of his way to train Jinx, then yeah, Ryu would have dominated. I don't know why I keep saying Ryu, but it's Ryu.
No, either works. Works.
Okay, but yeah, if Ryu was competing wholesale by himself and didn't have Jinx to train, then yeah, Ryu would have dominated wholesale.
Agreed.
That's just the reality of it.
Yeah, but again, like I said, both this and the Turtle miniseries were both interesting.
They were good for the story they were trying to tell.
Exactly. They were both very good for the story they were trying to tell. But yeah, like I said, I would give this a 7. I would put this, okay, let me put it this way. For all of its ills, I would rank it the same as the Ninja Turtles crossover.
About the same. The only difference is TMNT's, the art brings TMNT down. And what brings Street Fighter G.I. Joe down is not so much Rufus getting at its. I would argue Rufus is mischaracterized because he's not egotistical, at least not to that extent.
Yeah, not just all like, I am the greatest martial artist.
We get what Aubrey was going for, just a bumbling idiot trying to act bigger than what he is, and then he completely crashes out when he gets infected with the psycho energy at the end. That is all well and good, but if you can't execute the gag well, it's not funny.
Exactly.
And the gag just goes way too long.
It really does. But like I said, in the end, hey, we had fun.
Yeah.
What else could you say? We had fun, and this wasn't crap.
Like, yeah, these stories could have been a lot worse.
A lot worse. But, again, entertaining at least. That's more you can expect. So, thank you. And boy, this has been the longer video. Only by a little.
Only by a little. I want this might actually get split an hour each. Well,
no, 50 minutes each, and then a bit like over an hour and 10 for this one.
Okay.
But yeah, thank you so much for joining me in this one, Jay Heat. Thank you, everyone else. And we'll see you guys all on the next one.
Flame off.
Take care.